Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to change the thermal paste on your GPU. So if your GPU has been running hot lately, or maybe you bought a used GPU that still has stock thermal paste on it, as far as you know, this might be a good option to bring your thermals down maybe as much as 20 degrees. So let me show you what you're going to need for this. Alright, so here are some of the things all the things you're going to need for this project, but the items you need might vary from person to person, GPU to GPU. So right here I have some rubbing alcohol, some paper towels, 2 different screwdrivers. One has a bigger bit and one has just a smaller one. Depends on how big the screws are. Usually they're going to be pretty small. And then I have some thermal paste. So the higher quality your thermal paste is, the better your thermals are going to be. But I just got this for $5 at Micro Center. It should do just fine. So for this, I'm using a really crappy old GPU. So yours is probably going to look a little bit different than this one. But the only changes should be the amount of screws and etc. So let's crack this open. Move it to the side. So you're gonna flip the card over, and as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's actually a missing screw right there. You probably will not have that problem, but like I said, this is a really old card. So I'm gonna put the right bit into my screwdriver so that I can get on with this. So I'm gonna use this Husky one with a just a smaller, finer bit on it. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take out all these screws and set them aside. You do not want to lose these. Obviously, I've already lost one. I recommend using hand tools for these kinds of things too, not drills, because you don't want to accidentally use too much power and then screw something up. You have a lot more control with just a normal screwdriver. Okay. So once you've done that, go and look at the I/O, and as you can see, there's these 2 screws, and then there's these standoff kind of things. I only have 3 of them. There should be one right there, but there isn't. So for those, you're actually going to need pliers of some sort. So I am going to use a needle nose pliers. Any kind of pliers should work. I just have these. So I'm going to just pinch those little standoff looking things and turn them to the left a little bit, like that, and then you should be able to unscrew them with your hands the rest of the way. And then do that with all 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or however many are on your card. Oh, I dropped one. Right there. And one more. Okay, so once you have those out, let's take these back 2 out. And again, it's gonna vary from person to person, like how many screws you have and where they're at. So you might not have to do these 2 back ones, but I do, obviously. Okay, so now I have both of those out, and I should be able to pull this open. And then, as you can see, there's one more screw right there. So I'm gonna flip this over, and you can see the screws right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out now. And remember, this will void your warranty. There's probably going to be a sticker you'll come across at some point in this process saying that there's a warranty void if it's damaged. So now that you have that done, go and look around the card for any extra screws that might need to come off. Pretty sure this one right there and that one right there needs to, so I'll stop the video and I'll get back to you guys once I've taken everything. So I'm back and I have the cooler off almost. So I have this big shield off of the top, and I also had to take off the sticker to get to some of the screws, and I have this I/O shield. And so now I'm going to take the heat sink and fan off. So again, just look around on the card, look for screws that you might need to take out. You are almost, oh, look at that, nice big dust ball. You're almost definitely going to have to take out, unplug a fan. So right there, let's do that. So as you can see, there's some screws down there for the fan, and then I have this big, massive heat sink on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. I'm not gonna show it because again, everything is different for each user. So it did take a little bit of force, but as you can see, I got this massive heatsink off, and I have the actual just GPU right here. It's just a PCB with the actual GPU on it. But there's that beautiful 10 or more year old thermal paste on it. So that's what we're going to be replacing. So there's also all these thermal pads for everything else on here. But I'm not going to be changing those out because they don't deteriorate the way that thermal paste does. So I'm going to wipe this down now. So you're going to take one of your paper towels, and I'm just going to fold it up a couple of times. And I'm going to get some, I'm going to wipe this off, part of as much as I can get off. And then we'll go to the rubbing alcohol. Okay, so that took off quite a bit. Now I'm going to grab another towel and use that to get it off the heatsink. Look at how crusty that is. I had to throw it in the garbage because unfortunately I don't want crusty thermal paste all over my desk. So just go ahead and get the rest of that off. This card's design is going to be a little different than anything newer that you're going to find, but it's basically the same thing. So now that you have most of the thermal paste off, you're going to take another paper towel and you're going to dip that in your rubbing alcohol. If you don't have rubbing alcohol and do happen to have like vodka or something similar to that, that'd work too. So now you're just going to wipe that off and try not to get too much alcohol on anything else on the card. The same reason you don't want water all over your card. Okay, and then go to the heatsink. This is to help break down the thermal paste just a little bit more. And then you're just going to wipe the rest off with a paper towel. Alright, so now the next step is to put the new thermal paste on. So I've already used some of this too, but there's still plenty left. So be careful because this does come out very fast, and this is a very big GPU. Usually it's going to be maybe a quarter of this size. So what you're gonna do is, usually you would just put a little like kind of rice grain on it. I'm gonna have to do a little more than that just because of how massive this GPU is. I'm gonna make an X. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then you're just gonna pull this back and it'll stop the thermal paste from coming out of the end when you put the cap on, because it's a big mess. So now that you have this, you don't need to put any thermal paste on here. You're just going to prop it back on here. Make sure it's on in the same spot and stuff. And they once you put the screws and stuff back in, it'll press down the thermal paste and it'll spread itself out. So this might be a little difficult. Alright, I think I almost have it. I think that's about right. So I am gonna go put the rest of the screws back in and I'll be right back with you guys. So there you go, after 5 towels and a bunch of different tools and a bunch of dust and thermal paste, it's back together and everything is working fine.